The Los Angeles wildfires. Who should bear the cost of this disaster? The wildfires in Los Angeles have once again swept across the land, burning tens of thousands of acres and leaving countless people homeless. Even Hollywood star Mel Gibson's mansion was not spared from the devastation. This disaster not only reveals the ruthlessness of natural calamities, but also exposes deeper issues in policy and management. It is not just a natural disaster, but a man-made calamity. Mel Gibson's mansion burned. What does this indicate? The destruction of Mel Gibson's mansion is not an isolated case. Many celebrities and wealthy individuals have chosen to live in scenic, hillside communities that are close to forests or heavily vegetated areas. While these areas offer breathtaking views, they are also high-risk zones for wildfires. This highlights that the threat of wildfires does not discriminate between the wealthy and the poor. Even with the best resources, disaster remains inevitable. But the more pressing question lies in the systemic failures behind frequent wildfires. Issues with forest management. Many wildfires are directly linked to the accumulation of overgrown vegetation, yet California's forest management policies often lack effective implementation. Flammable debris remains uncleared, and fire breaks are insufficiently established, allowing fires to spread rapidly once ignited. Prioritizing firefighting over prevention. Most firefighting resources are allocated for post-disaster efforts, while investments in preventive measures such as upgrading fire equipment, expanding fire breaks, and improving early warning systems are severely lacking. These systemic flaws not only catch celebrities and wealthy individuals off guard, but also exacerbate the vulnerabilities of ordinary people. If mansions can't survive, what about ordinary people? While Mel Gibson may have the financial resources and insurance coverage to rebuild his home quickly, ordinary people often lack such options. Data shows that many Californians cannot afford insurance due to skyrocketing premiums or insurance companies withdrawing from high-risk areas. As reconstruction costs continue to rise, numerous families are left in dire straits. Challenges faced by ordinary people. The crisis in the insurance system. Frequent wildfires have dramatically increased insurance payout pressures, prompting many companies to either withdraw from high-risk areas or raise premiums to unaffordable levels. Programs like the California Fair Plan offer limited solutions with high costs and insufficient coverage, leaving low-income households with few viable options. Exacerbation of the housing crisis. The destruction of countless homes has further strained California's already severe housing shortage. Many wildfire survivors are displaced, with reconstruction taking years and their lives left in limbo. Inequitable resource distribution. Post-disaster government aid often prioritizes corporations or lightly affected communities, while the poorest and most vulnerable populations are frequently overlooked. Policy deficiencies and unequal resource allocation have inflicted significant hardships on ordinary people. The man-made causes behind the wildfires. While climate change plays a significant role in the increasing frequency of wildfires, it is only part of the story. Other man-made factors are equally, if not more, critical. The responsibility of power companies. Multiple wildfires have been directly linked to faulty electrical equipment. For example, PG&E's aging infrastructure has been repeatedly blamed for causing major fires. Despite being ordered to pay hefty compensation, the underlying problems remain unresolved. Outdated equipment continues to pose safety risks. This underscores the critical role of inadequate regulation and enforcement in these disasters. Shortcomings in policy execution. Although California has made substantial investments in environmental and climate policies, many initiatives remain superficial, with limited tangible outcomes. For instance, forest management plans aim to clear flammable vegetation annually, but less than a third of these targets are achieved. Who should pay for the disaster? After every wildfire, it is ordinary residents, not the responsible corporations or government agencies, who ultimately bear the brunt of the costs. Rising insurance premiums, increased utility bills, and higher living expenses all disproportionately burden the public. Are power companies doing enough? Should companies like PG&E take on greater financial responsibility and expedite the modernization of their equipment to prevent similar disasters in the future? What role should the government play? Should California establish a public disaster relief fund to help uninsured residents rebuild their lives? Greater transparency in policy execution and fairer resource allocation are urgently needed. The necessity of policy reforms, increase investments in fire prevention infrastructure, such as expanding fire breaks and upgrading firefighting equipment, reform the insurance system to make coverage affordable for residents in high-risk areas, strengthen corporate regulations to ensure their safety responsibilities are fulfilled, a wake-up call for society. The destruction of Mel Gibson's mansion is not just a personal loss for a celebrity, it is a wake-up call for society. It forces us to re-examine disaster management and policy implementation in California, whether for celebrities or ordinary people. The helplessness experienced during disasters underscores the urgent need for deeper reflection and stronger action. If even celebrities cannot withstand these risks, what can ordinary people do? The root causes of these issues remain unresolved, and it is time to question. What kind of policies and resource allocations are truly needed to ensure that no one fears the next wildfire? What do you think California should do to prevent such tragedies? How should disaster recovery costs be distributed? Share your thoughts in the comments.